welcome to Would I Lie to You, the show with tall tales and tantalising truths. On David Mitchell's team tonight, a heavyweight boxer who Lee was telling me earlier he could definitely take in a fight. It's David Hay. And a comedian and former maths teacher. When he goes to a gig 200 miles away on a train travelling at 70 miles per hour, he knows exactly what time he'll get there. It's Ramesh Ranganathan. And on Lee Mack's team tonight, a musician who once had 300 girls faint at his gig. That happened to me once. The St. John's ambulance chalked it up to boredom and poor ventilation. It's Martin Kemp. And the hottest thing to come out of the Great British Bake Off since a burnt brioche in Bread Week, it's Mel Gedroych. So we begin with round one, Home Truths, where our panellists each read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before. They've no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. David Hay, you're first up tonight.
I refuse to play my son at tennis since he beat me at the age of 5.
How old is he now?
He's 8 now.
So you're not playing for 3 years?
No.
Because you really don't like losing?
I hate losing, particularly to someone so small and who laughs hysterically as they're doing it.
I don't know, I've seen some of your opponents, you don't mind boxing them.
I take him to the park sometimes for him to play other adults and take great pleasure in watching him beat them. That's like one of my favourite things to do, just go and say, I bet you can't beat him. And I'm like, OK, how much? I'm like, how much do you want to bet? And, yeah,
this is lovely, so you're sort of pimping him out as a betting...
He gets 10% of it.
Yeah.
Has he got, like, Lego and stuff? I mean...
No, he's very active. He had a lesson with Boris Becker the other day. He was one of his coach. Yeah.
Were you watching?
Yeah,
that must be terrifying for Boris Becker. Like,
Yeah.
You're doing really well, really good. Please don't kill me.
What's your boy's name?
Cassius.
Cassius. Oh. So he's Cassius Hay?
Yeah.
I just want to know, where did you get that idea?
With my kids, I was one of those fathers that everything they did, I let them win. You know, none of that.
There's no fun in that, though, mate. Like, what's really enjoyable is really crushing them. Like, if I was you, I would have gone away and had secret tennis lessons, and then casually just gone, do you want to have a little knockabout? Then slam! Where's Boris now?
Did you have to pay Boris, or was it a favour?
No, it was a favour. He heard through the grapevine about Cassius being a
One day, you know you're going to get the call, don't you? Hello, David. Perhaps you remember what I did for your son. Now it's payback time. I'm stuck in a cupboard. Could happen. So what are you going to say, Lee? Truth or lie?
What do we think?
What do you think, Martin?
I think it's true because...
You're not listening, are you? You're undressing him.
Lee, I'm sorry. She's looking straight past you. Mel, have some sympathy for the man. He's going to sit there all night.
Now I know how Tony Hadley feels.
So, what are you going to say?
The Boris Becker seems a bit extraordinary for me.
Mel is saying lie. Martin
I'm
Kemp.
saying true.
You're saying true.
Lie. We'll go with Martin and say...
You're going to say it's true. OK, David. Truth or lie? It's true. Wow. It's true. David does refuse to play his son at tennis since he beat him aged 5. Mel, it's your turn.
When I was a child, the only thing that would get me to sleep was my parents reading me the takeaway menu from our local Chinese restaurant, the Flying Chopstick.
David's team.
At what age was this?
I'd say it kicked off at 7 and probably lasted about a year.
Was it read out in any type of accent?
No. Well, my dad...
Would you say any type?
Any type.
There's one specific one. If they read it in a French accent, it'd be nice. This is quite surreal, isn't it? But I'll go with it.
My dad is half Polish, half Lithuanian, so it had a sort of Eastern European tinge.
Could you give us a kind of a little rendition?
So it'd be something along the lines of...
This will be interesting.
It'd be something
We'll just separate ourselves from the person doing the routine.
You don't want to be in the clip when it comes on the news, do you?
So Dad would say, for example, black bean with chop suey, something like that. Black bean.
Was your dad the fella from Sesame Street? One pork balls. Two lovely pork balls.
You know, lychee for the end of the menu.
Lychee, that's the
Yeah,
one.
I know that.
Lychees.
The flying chopstick, they just serve a single lychee, don't they?
Lychees.
I've
It was the
seen it.
staple. It was the 70s. Things were a little bit sparse then. It was Wilson's, you know, things are hard. I can't remember his speech, but you know the one I mean. Things are terrible.
Wilson's things are hard.
Wilson's things are...
Harold Wilson, things are hard.
We've only got lychees. Things are hard. We've only got lychees, guys.
How far into the menu would you drift off?
That's a very good question.
That's why I asked it.
Yeah. My eye would be sort of fully open, like that. A little bit like...
Just one eye open.
One eye open, always looking, always just checking. And then I would say, by the end of the first page, the eye would be down.
So you used to
So
go to
about
sleep
page.
half a face at a time?
Can you remember the first time that this happened?
It would have been... I think it was on a Friday night. Mum and Dad would have been entertaining, and I laughed a lot and then fell asleep.
So what do you think, then? David Hay, how is this striking you?
The detail, the fact that she knew straight away what day it was on a Friday night. I don't remember what day it was when you were 7.
Oh, I
can't
did.
remember last week. I get punched in the head for a living, but...
But David, they did it a lot. They did it a lot.
Repetition, eh?
Repetition. So I knew the menu back to front because they had to do it so
Well,
often.
that's just Chinese. It would be that way, no, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
Ramesh, what are you thinking?
I think it... I don't buy it.
David? Actually, I've got two Davids. We'll call you the Haymaker and the Librarian. What are you thinking, David?
Well, I think I don't believe it.
Do you realise... I like the system you've got there. We're going to call you the Haymaker and the Librarian. So what do you think, David?
I don't think she's at the age of 7.
Yeah.
I think a 7-year-old child will require a coherent story.
All right, so you're saying it's a lie. Well, let's find out. Mel, truth or lie?
The story was, in fact, a lie!
Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest. And it's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Carlos. David Hay, what is Carlos to you?
This is Carlos, and I accidentally knocked him down in a boxing demonstration.
Ramesh, how do you know Carlos?
This is Carlos. I once broke my strict vegan diet because I didn't want to offend him.
Finally, David Mitchell, your relationship with Carlos.
This is Carlos. He came to my house to deliver a pizza, but we ended up building a bed together.
So there we have it. Is Carlos David Hay's boxing buddy, Ramesh's diet destroyer, or David Mitchell's DIY delivery guy? Lee, where do you want to start?
David Hay, the Haymaker. Where was this demonstration?
It was at my gym.
Is it your gym?
At my gym in Vauxhall.
And you were demonstrating as...
I was demonstrating. He works in a school that I used to go to when I was a kid, and the kids came to the gym to do a boxing demonstration.
Oh, I see.
And he got
Carlos
in the
is
ring, and I do this thing where I let people punch me and I don't punch them back, and they get points if they can hit me in the face because I'm really quick.
OK.
And as I was doing that, I kind of put my arm out, and
Jabbed.
I don't normally hit people. I'm quite controlled, but this time it just sort of hit him, and He wasn't.
Did you have
he
good-
wasn't knocked out like asleep, but he was knocked on the floor.
What did the kids do?
He was laughing their head off. It was the funniest thing.
Really? So
Sure.
basically, you have said to this poor man,
Yeah,
come in the
yeah.
ring, hit me in the face,
I
and
won't
you've
hit you
gone,
back.
honestly, I won't
I promised him I would hit you back.
And you hit him back.
Yeah, I've done it hundreds of times and never hurt anybody.
For those who, I mean, I'm a bit of an authority, but for those who don't know much about boxing, could you show us? Could you just demonstrate what sparring is?
Imagine you're you and say Rob is Carl.
Oh, no, I can't. I can't.
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
Come on, You are tall. I'm 6'1". You must be what? Nothing sudden.
Okay, what we were doing, we had the gloves on. He was punching me, and I'm sort of blocking, so he's trying to hit me.
So shall I try and hit you?
Yeah, he's trying to hit me.
I can try and hit you. What are you going to do back to me? That's fine. Oh! I had you then, didn't I? Watch that one. Watch that one. Ooh. Oh, he's getting ready to hit me. I can feel it. I can feel it. Can I give you one in the stomach? Ready? Oh. Ready? Here we go, ready? Yeah!
You're getting in the gentle one back.
No, I don't want a gentle one back.
No, I get no.
It was very nice. Thank you very much.
As I said, I get back what I give again.
That was hard.
All right, who do you want to ask next?
OK, so, well, Romesh, you broke your vegan diet to be polite.
Exactly.
Yes.
OK, so where were you?
I was in a restaurant.
And who is this gentleman to you?
He worked at the restaurant.
Okay.
What was it called, do you remember?
Yes, it was called Benito's Hat.
And what did you order, Romesh?
I went for a burrito, a vegetable burrito.
So it's Mexican food?
It is Mexican, yes,
Mexican.
Martin. I didn't know you were a connoisseur.
Well, what was it he made you eat?
Well, I was sitting eating my burrito on my own. It was quite a dark scene. And then he came over and he said, you're the comedian, aren't you? We said, you're a comedian. I said, yes, I am. And he said, we've got this for you.
What was it?
It was like this sort of, I don't know what it's called. It was like a dessert, but it looked like it had more dairy in it than I'd ever seen in my life before.
And dairy is not good for a vegan. They don't like dairy.
It invalidates, you lose the badge.
Are there any vegans on the panel? I'm not a vegan.
I'm not a vegan.
Not a vegan. So
Yeah.
you're a vegan. David Hay is a vegan.
I eat a plant-based diet.
A plant-based diet. I picture you like a brontosaurus pulling trees up by their roots, just grabbing at the tall leaves.
Brontosauruses are vegans.
I know that's why I said it.
Yeah, they don't.
Shall we change your blanket?
So it's a free dish because he likes your comedy. And
Yeah, so he says, oh, I've got this for you.
Yeah.
And I just sort of felt under pressure, you know. He was like, he'd done a really nice thing. They'd cut the slice out of somewhere and they decorated it and they'd done a little thing with it. And I just thought, I don't want to go, you've offended my
So how did it taste? I mean...
Incredible.
It was good?
It was one of the best things I've eaten in a long time.
I was vegetarian for about 10 years, and I always said, nope, I'm not going to eat that. I'm vegetarian.
Yes, ordinarily, if you were at a party or
Had you
something,
been
somebody
drinking?
says, do you want this? No, I'd not been drinking, no, but...
You could use that as an excuse.
Is that the type of vegan you are? 3 o'clock in the morning eating a kebab? Just, I'm drunk, mate.
What about...
it's called David.
Little David.
Oh, the bed story.
Right, so
He called for a pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Carlos
came
round delivering the pizza, and they ended up building a bed together.
Right. Well, what...
Was the bed a flat
Come
pack then? Is
It
that how
was a
came?
flat pack, yeah.
Was it for yourself?
No,
Who was it for?
it was for my parents.
Had they not visited before?
Well, they had visited before, but
They would sleep standing up.
They'd not stayed the night before in that house.
We wanted to keep things on a formal standing.
Do you think David orders pizzas? Can't imagine him ordering
It's amazing
pizzas.
the things that people won't believe of me.
Can't imagine him ordering
Orders
pizzas.
pizzas?
Yes.
Well, what else?
Does.
Well, what else would he do in a situation where he needs food quickly?
I think he'd order some sort of Roman feast or I don't know, or a Tudor meal.
I agree, but those sort of shops have been closing down at quite a speed recently.
could just speed dial Tudor meal. I'll just have the Tudor meal number 4. With extra wrens.
So he knocks on the door. When he knocks on the door, did you have a plan that when the pizza man comes round, you're going to ask him, or was it a spur of the moment thought?
Well, the body of the last pizza man was beginning to smell.
You murder one pizza man, then you have to murder another pizza man. That's the domino effect.
The bed was...
And you'd been trying to make this bed on your own.
I had.
Which bit had you got to?
Well, broadly, I'd managed to get the sort of side bits in the bed head bit.
Right.
And some of the kind of slats were more or less in place.
Let's be honest, you've almost finished then.
You put the slats on already, but you still haven't done the bottom.
Yeah, I couldn't...
You didn't do the slats at the end.
Put the slats on before you attached the 2 side bits.
What else did you do? Had you also made the bed and plumped the pillows? I mean, how far had you gone in the wrong order of all this?
So the doorbell goes, here's your pizza. Oh, it's you. Hello, mate. Here it is, extra pepperami. There's the money. You give him the tip.
I haven't given him the tip yet. The tip happens later. I give him a much...
Oh, my God, I want you to come to my bedroom and then... there may be a tip in it for you.
No, I come to the door quite hassled. I think possibly holding 2 or 3 random pieces of wood.
Yes.
And I say, I'm terribly sorry, but could you just help me with something? For a minute. I'm just trying to assemble a piece of furniture.
Right.
And I just need someone to hold the other end while I shove something in. I can't vouch that those were my exact words.
All right, well, we need an answer.
Yeah.
Well, we need to rule one out. That would help.
Could just rule one in, and then that's quicker.
I would rule little David out.
Definitely.
Rule little David out.
Yeah.
Well, then we're left with the haymaker, let's say brutalising the teachers in a one-sided fight, or Romesh. I mean this in the nicest possible way, Romesh, but your face doesn't scream accommodating.
So what's it going to be, Lee? Time to make a choice.
We want to go with David.
The haymaker.
Haymaker.
We'll go with the haymaker.
You're going with the haymaker. Big David Hay, you're saying it's a teacher. You accidentally knocked him down on the floor. OK.
Yeah.
Carlos, would you please reveal your true identity?
Hello, my name is Carlos, and I made Ramesh break his vegan diet.
Yes, Carlos is Romesh's diet destroyer. Thank you very much, Carlos. Which brings us to our final round, quick-fire lies, and we start with... It's Lee.
In the last year, I have broken not 1, but 2 world records.
David's team.
World records.
You heard it right.
What are they?
It's darts world records, actually. The one sport I actually am not bad at.
Are they both in darts?
Both, yes. Both records are in darts. Both
And
world
what
records.
are the 2 records in darts that you now hold?
I am the world record holder for the most amount of number 2s in a minute. And I'm also the world record holder for the most bullseyes in a minute. But not just the bullseyes, the green bit, the outer 25 as well.
Right, so the most number 2s in a minute.
Correct.
And the most bullseyes. So, how many is it?
That's a good question. I can't remember. The number 2s, it's 18 number 2s in a minute.
Yeah.
And the bullseyes, or 25s, was 12.
Did you get an official, like, records adjudicator to come and...
The Guinness Book of Records were there.
You're saying that you're in the Guinness Book
I'm
of
going to be in the
Records?
Guinness Book of Records this year, yeah.
How was it organised?
It was actually a television programme got involved, so they booked the people.
What television programme?
Not that programme that hasn't been on for 20-odd years.
Cheryl Baker.
The new one called Officially Amazing, which is the children's version on children's television. Do you watch children's
I think
television?
the one you were talking about was also for children. It's just you were a child then.
Oh, yeah.
And did they televise both of your records? Did they think, God, that 2s one was good?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at that, vary that up, by having him aim at the bullseye. Did they
No,
think that was...
they told me in advance I could have a go at both world records. I think, to be fair, the first world record, the most number twos in a minute, was a world record that had never been attempted before.
Oh, so there was no record to beat.
Correct.
So one would have won it, technically.
No, because they set a bar. They say you have to be at least a minimum standard. It's not like your opponents. You have to... you have to...
No, don't anger him. Don't anger him.
So, yeah, you have to reach a minimum standard, and I think the minimum standard for that, they said, was 14. But the Bulls and 25s was an official record that did exist.
What was the previous record?
11.
And you got?
12.
What are you thinking, David?
Well, what do you think?
It sounds quite plausible. There's loads of those kids' shows when they do those silly challenges and stuff.
No. Don't undermine my moment. This wasn't a silly little challenge. This was the world record.
Yeah, but as you say, it was a world record. It was the
first one, but the other one. But
someone's got to be the first one.
No, but the other one
Someone was there.
The other one wasn't. Don't make me come over there, David. So the other one already existed and was 11 by an American.
Romesh.
I don't buy it. I think that they wouldn't let you go for 2 records in a show. Officially amazing, I've never heard of. That isn't officially amazing. It's not official, or is it amazing?
It might be a sort of...
If it was a show called Vaguely Interesting, then
OK, we'll say lie.
You're going to say lie? OK. Lee, world record holder, twice. Truth or lie?
It is, in fact, true.
Yes, it's true. Lee has broken 2 world records, and to prove it, here's a clip of Lee doing just that.
Time is running out. Come on, Lee, get those darts in. A perfect set.
In that attempt, you achieved 12, which is a brand new Guinness World Records title.
Yes, well done, Lee, world record holder. Next, it's Martin.
I was once hospitalised after fooling around with a blow-up toy.
David's team.
What was the blow-up toy?
Well, it was a lilo.
A lilo? Just a normal flat lilo?
It was a normal flat lilo, but it had a bit sticking out of it that held your margarita, like a cup holder thing on the edge.
Where were you? Club Tropicana?
Well, somewhere very similar to that, Ibiza. And I was in the swimming pool, and you know when you put your arms up here on your lilo as you're laying down?
Yes.
And someone came up underneath my lilo, pushed it over, and my arm completely goes out of socket. It's completely disjointed, sticking out like an L shape.
what happened to your margarita?
Spilt.
How long did it take for your arm to heal up afterwards to get back to normal?
Great question, David.
Well, I get out and I'm on the side of the swimming pool, and I'm in agony, screaming.
Yeah.
All the other tourists were trying to name which tune it was that you were singing.
Yeah. So anyway, my wife calls the ambulance. Now, the ambulance that comes is one of those really small ones that they have in Spain. So when they try to put me in the ambulance, I don't go in properly.
How small was it?
Because my arm's sticking out and I can't get through the door. So the guy gets out the ambulance man, and I'm screaming, and my wife is saying, give him something for the pain, give him something for the pain. So the guy takes off his T-shirt, rolls it up into a little ball, puts it in my mouth and says, bite on this. Wow. I had to bite on his sweaty T-shirt to stop the pain.
Did that help with the pain?
Well, it just stopped the screaming.
How long did it take to heal up? I asked the question again as you swerved it.
I had to go to hospital.
I don't understand that, but after you went to hospital, how long did it take for your arm to get back to normal so it was fine?
I had an operation.
My client does not want to answer the question.
Once again.
I'll tell you what happened. I was in there, and, you know...
Tell you what, there's nothing wrong with your knees.
I had to have the tendons sewn together.
Yeah.
And you know when they wheel you into that recovery room?
Yeah.
And as you wake up, you'll know, as you wake up from kind of anaesthetic, you get really cold, don't you?
Yes.
So I'm shivering away in bed, and I'm saying to the people in the recovery room, oh, I'm freezing, I'm freezing. All of a sudden, this nurse, who was huge, big woman, hears me saying that across the other side of the room, and she hears me saying across the other side of the room that I'm cold.
Yeah.
Next minute, she comes bounding across, lays on top of me, saying, I'll keep him warm, I'll keep him warm. It was like a terrifying version of Baywatch.
What kind what kind of unorthodox medical procedures are going on here?
So how long did it take you to recover from this?
I'm just thinking, Martin, that if we wanted to bring this to life, to visualise it...
Shall I be the nurse?
Mel, you could be the nurse.
Can I just say, I am only half dressed. I can't reveal day wear.
Even to lie on Martin Kemp?
Yeah, go on. I'll reveal day wear.
So you're lying down.
So I'm lying down in
Watch
bed.
your shoulder now, Martin.
I'm lying down in bed,
Right.
saying,
Yes.
I'm freezing, I'm freezing,
Very cold. He's very, very cold. Please.
I'm freezing.
We need a nurse. We need a nurse. We need a nurse. We need a nurse. Take your chance, woman. Get on. Martin, are you all right?
Yeah.
Are you all right?
So it was kind of like that. But I'll tell you something, it was the last Lilo I've ever gotten.
So how long did it take to recover from this injury?
Did that really happen?
Now then, what are you thinking? Truth or lie?
I think it's pure fallacy.
Lie.
I see for sure he's lying.
Oh, yeah.
Lie. We'll say lie.
You're going to say it's a lie. Martin Kemp, lie or truth? I think he means it's true.
What's that? I thought you were expecting Mel to press your nipple and it would come up.
This much is true.
That noise signals time is up, and it's the end of the show. I can reveal that Lee's team have won by 3 points to 2. Thanks for watching. Good night.